Ashed Audio presents The Lovely Bones. Written and read by Alice Sebold, with a special introduction of exclusive commentary by the author. And following this program, listen to a sneak preview from her next novel, The Almost Moon.
Soundtrack by Booktrack.
Now, here is Alice Sebold.
Hi, my name is Alice Sebold, author of The Lovely Bones. There are many reasons that people write books and novels, and many things that inspire them to write various stories. Certainly, The Lovely Bones has a whole stew of reasons why I wrote it, but I would have to say that a major inspiration for me was the era in which I grew up, which was the 1970s, much like Susie, and having seen during that time all these pictures of dead girls in the newspaper. And as it says in the novel, most of them were white girls with mousy brown hair parted down the middle. And I never understood where they came from, what they were about, what their names were, what their stories were. And I would ask my mother quite often to tell me about these girls. And she never had a story to tell me. There was no information. Sometimes their names would be there and their ages, but they were just dead. And that really stayed with me the whole time I was growing up, and I would stare into their faces and wonder who they were. And I think if you have a penchant for narrative, that kind of blank slate really invites you in, and you try to imagine what their lives were. So I think even before my own experience of being raped, and therefore obviously my resultant kind of interest and commitment to people who had been murdered or hurt in violent acts, I was already fascinated by the idea of people's faces who got put in the paper, who were murder victims, but who had no story according to the world. It's been 7 years since I read The Lovely Bones full out. I've read, of course, certain segments of it in readings in public, but I'm not the type of person who goes back and looks at things that I've done. I find it more painful than enjoyable. So when I was asked to read this audiobook edition, it was an opportunity for me to sort of force myself to revisit this territory. And it was really kind of a wonderful experience in a lot of ways to revisit the characters that, certainly are important to me and have also shaped my life in ways that
Sample complete. Ready to continue?